Hi, I'm Phil Swift and welcome to my channel. This is my first review video and the product that we are reviewing today is this Burgonet helmet made by Bareena Kalf, which is also sold by Dale Hopton from Tradewinds of the Levant. I chose to do this review video because lately this helmet has been becoming very popular within the SCA community. I've also gotten to see about, I want to say 4 to 5 of these helmets floating around when I was at Penzic. Some of them more beautifully decorated than others. They had really nice trims on the side. I just got the basic, which is blackened mild steel with gold rivets. I would like to see these being, or maybe not even this one, but I would like to see more historical helmets being used within the HEMA community. I believe that these offer way better protection than your regular fencing mask, even with that super hot, annoying back of the head protector bibs with the sides and all. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review video. We'll be going through a few things about this helmet. But first things first, let's start with prices and options. So this one here was only bought for $240, which is dirt cheap for a historically made 16 gauge steel Burgonet helmet with a perf plate, which is this plate right here that protects the face and gives visibility. Now for roughly a little bit more, talking about $360 or so, you can get this in a 14 gauge steel, which just means it'll be a lot thicker and definitely will be way harder to dent when used with longswords. Now even with this being a 16 gauge steel helmet, I've taken some pretty bad blows in HEMA with a longsword, and you could see that it is barely dented. It was just scratched. It looks like it's just some scuffing off the paint. Even on the mohawk here, you don't really see any big dents. And that's me telling them to literally bash me in the head with a shot. So I think it's pretty solid. I barely felt it in my head, but 14 gauge would just be like for sure if you don't want to feel anything at all, let's say. And you can also get it in a 12 gauge if you really want to be safe, or if you're fighting SCA heavy, which I believe it requires you to have a 12 gauge on the top and then 14 gauges on the sides. Which makes sense because I don't want to be hit by rattan with that wearing minimal protection. Now you can also get the stainless steel versions. I believe this particular 16 gauge steel helmet in the stainless steel would run me about $370, which wouldn't be a bad option because the stainless steel will make it last a lot longer. You can also get it with a grill, so you can fight heavy and a perf plate. It can be a multi-purpose helmet. This one here comes with a nice chin strap. You can always upgrade your chin strap to make it fit your chin a little bit easier. And just like that, you put it on. The sides kind of flap a little bit when you're walking. It's kind of funny because as I'm walking around Penzic, you hear the clanging of metal, but that's okay. The faceplate just comes on by hooking the top portion right there, and then you make sure you squeeze your cheeks in, and then the strap just goes around the back like so, and voila, you are strapped in. Now, it doesn't come with these leather bibs here. I had to put them in myself. But what I'll do is I'll send you guys the link to the leather worker that made me this gorgeous bib for under $100. Alright, so let's get into the pros and cons about this helmet. It looks great. It feels great in it. It's not too heavy, especially if you go with the 16 gauge. It's slightly, I want to say, 5 pounds. It takes impact very well, even if you're fighting HEMA Longsword. It's actually a little bit better than the super famous That Guy's Mask, which I have over there, as you can see. The reason being is because that guy's helmet was made for rapier impact. So when you're wearing one of these bad boys, it takes impact very well from the front. But not so much percussive impact from the sides. It tends to shift around and touch your cheeks a little bit, so you gotta add a little bit of padding in there from side hits. With the Burgonet, I've taken lots of side hit percussive shots, and it doesn't even touch my cheeks at all. It stays very well on the helmet. It breaks the percussive impact very well, to the point where I don't feel it as much. You'll hear a loud ringing in your ears from the sound that it makes metal on metal, but other than that, I barely feel the percussives from the side. So that's a really good thing about this, or these helmets in particularly. Especially if you upgrade it to a thicker steel, then it wouldn't be that much of a problem at all. The only thing I want to say for cons is that without modifications, it doesn't meet the SCA legal standards or requirements. I would also say that it wouldn't reach the HEMA requirements as well, because what happens is, if you don't have these flaps on the side here when putting on the perf plate, blows from the sides will go right through, because there's two corners that are acceptable for the sword to go through, and it's right here and right there. I'll show you when I put it on. But other than that, it's a quick modification. It's about $100 modification, unless you do it yourself. The perf plate also doesn't have as good visibility as that guy's helmet. I assume maybe because I got it in the all black option. I would advise maybe not to get the all black option if you are someone who fights outdoors. For instance, at Penzik, this helmet is an oven to fight in. You're fighting in 90 degrees humid weather, or possibly even more than 90 degrees. This thing will become a oven. So I advise not to get a black if you are going to be fighting outdoors. If you're fighting indoors, this should be totally fine. So right here, if it wasn't for the flaps, you would see an opening right through the mask, which in the video you will see that a blade has passed through several times without the bib. So I wouldn't recommend it without the modifications. But after the modifications, it is fully legal. I'm not wearing a gorget right now, but if I were to wear a gorget, you will see that there wouldn't be any gaps. Alright, so this is me wearing the mask and the gorget. So as you can see, the gorget is nicely placed where there would be any gaps. So especially with the flaps, nothing would go. I'm hitting all gorget. If I were to stick my fingers in, even where the chin is, it'd be all gorget. So That being said, with the modifications, it'd be perfectly viable. It should be fully functional, so you shouldn't have any problems with that. Only after the modifications that it would be fully legal and I would feel safe wearing it.
Yeah, but that's gonna, yeah.
I can't really get that angle.
Yeah. That's me like looking pretty high too. Like I'm looking above your head at this moment.
Right. Look sideways. Oh. Yeah, I can't really get that angle.
Try harder.
That's about as much as I can get.
The problem is that's a static.
Yep.
Yeah, static though.
But really.
Yeah, but honestly, do you think any marshal at that field's going to pass that as is?
Oh, do what you did. You're looking over at Keita.
Hi!
Hey!
Oh,
There you
and
go.
we have now, your sword is under his chin.
Dun dun dun.
And your blade is poking into the other side.
HEMA one on tomorrow. That's a fashion. Yeah.
How's the noise factor?
Yeah, it's just a noise factor.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Otherwise good?
yeah,
Okay.
Don't really move around that much.
Cool.
Yeah, the backside I'm not terribly worried about, but
after careful consideration of cons and pros, I would still recommend this helmet to others. It looks great. It takes percussive hits very well. The only thing that it needs a slight modification, roughly $100, which will totally set you back about $340, which isn't too bad still. That's actually still inexpensive compared to other historically or period looking helmets out there. I would definitely get it in maybe a stainless or a polished steel if you're going to be fighting outdoors. But yes, thank you for watching my video. I appreciate it, and feel free to subscribe. I will start doing more review videos in the future, mostly on historically looking equipment that could be passed for HEMA and SCA. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Phil Swift.